I think Janelle would do anything she could to screw me, so she's afraid I'll try to screw her. And so where I'm at is I'm bitter and I don't care. I have made an effort for you for years, and what did you give me? You betrayed me. She teamed up with Christine when Christine was leaving. She gave Christine her empathy, her sympathy, her kindness, her attention, her time. So you worry about what you're going to do, and I'll worry about what I'm going to do.
Hi friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, November 4th, 2024. If you are wondering if Kody and Robyn Brown are going to find a way to try to sneak around a court injunction and make good on Kody's vow to screw over Janelle out of the money that she was owed for the down payment that she paid for a house in Flagstaff, along with property owned at Coyote Pass. If you wondered if the projection of Kody Brown that Janelle was going to screw him over was actually an admission that he would screw her over, you would be accurate. And I believe that threat he made was not a veiled one, because despite a court injunction in the state of Utah, which bars Kody from moving or selling or disposing of assets, Kody and Robyn Brown's home in Flagstaff sold today. Now, I can't tell you where the documents are because as of right now, the documents have not been recorded in Coconino County's recorder's office. But Realtor.com was provided the information from probably one of the listing agents in this case. And this headline kind of just shows you where he's at with this property, because it still remains very unclear to pretty much everyone if the sale will actually screw the women out of money or if the women are actually going to get any money from him. What is abundantly clear from this article on Realtor.com is that the financial real estate market is paying attention to the ongoing feud between Kody and the women and the source of the money for the down payment, along with the Coyote Pass situation. And it's been covered not only by Realtor, but other large websites surrounding finance. And with the very blatant issues happening here of possible mortgage fraud, it really does beg the question why no one in law enforcement is paying attention to this, because what the women are accusing Kody of is basically mortgage fraud. They're accusing Kody of taking a loan from them and using the loan as a down payment for the house that they just sold. And then that home, which they just sold, they qualified for a loan under false pretenses, claiming that they didn't have any other second mortgages. Janelle and Meri are saying, we gave you money, but it wasn't a gift. You owe us money. And now this is sold. And Kody could likely be walking away with $1 million now. $1 million. The home and the lot next to it, which were sold together, sold for $1.8 million. Kody Robyn's mortgage, the most recent one, was just under $700,000. There's obviously going to be closing costs and commissions made by real estate agents, which will be pretty significant. But still, they could be close to $1 million in equity here. And if Janelle and Meri haven't been doing anything, they need to do something now. And if Christine's attorneys aren't paying attention, they need to start doing something now, because Kody could very much be running away with the money and they have no say in it. And this was the threat that he made. He said, I will take care of me. You don't worry about it. And he promised that he would screw her over. And this is what he's going to do. I spoke to someone in Flagstaff who last week happened to be driving in their area and noticed that Kody and Robyn were moving out of their house. And they said that there was no for sale sign on the property. And the home was removed from the market. It was placed at off market on October 8th. They were trying to hide the sale, which is very unusual. They didn't change real estate agents. the agents very publicly promoted this listing for months. And this agency is known for working with high-end clients. And so they took it off the market and they didn't put it at pending. They made it look like it was off market and not for sale. That's very unusual, extremely unusual. And they removed the for sale sign from the house. And now the house sale goes through and the exclusive goes to realtor.com. Something seems just very sketchy about this, but the home was sold on November 4th, coming on and off the market multiple times. It never went back on the market after October 8th. It sold for $1.8 million, and along with the lot next to it. Something that the article says is, while the home was purchased by Brown and Robyn, the other 3 women say they invested their money in the property, as well as a larger house in nearby Coyote Pass. Not a larger house, a lot. And they have very publicly voiced their plans to recoup the money that they put in. A clip from 2022 revealed that the fivesome had originally intended to create a giant compound out of the 2 homes so they could all live together before, that is, their relationship fell apart. The compound was at Coyote Pass. It was the one house idea, and that definitely was not combined with the home at Hash Knife Trail. And then the article goes on to quote Brown saying, "We buy the house, we build on Coyote Pass, you move into that house, and we rent this house." And then it says, however, after 2 years and several very uncomfortable breakups, the 3 former sister wives were launching a campaign to get their money back, a saga that has been the source of much intrigue in the latest season of the show. And they have a quote from Janelle that says, "I've actually thought about asking if he wants to buy me out, but we've got to pay it off, and he's not talking to me about it, so I'm going to have to lawyer up." And then it says it's unclear whether the scandal had any impact on his desire to sell the home. However, Brown did remove the listing in October, having reduced the price just to $949,000, according to reports. It remains to be seen whether Brown will have to share the profits from the sale with his ex-partners. However, in the latest episode of the show, which aired on November 3rd, the subject of the Coyote Pass property was raised by Janelle, who asked her former husband whether he would consider buying her out of the investment. Janelle claimed the land had yet to be paid off, telling her daughter that she found it insane that he wasn't taking it seriously. And so they're clearly tracking this right now, right? And they're tracking things that Janelle has said. If Kody's not willing to buy me out, then I'm going to have to do something with it, but we've got to pay it off. He's not talking to me about it, so I think I'm just going to have to lawyer up because I think that's the only way I'm ever going to get any kind of decision out from him. The fight on last night's episode had to do with Coyote Pass, but she did give him money for his down payment. When they bought the house in 2019, they put down $220,000. The purchase price was $890,000. And they got money from Janelle and from Meri to afford the down payment. This money has not been recouped by Janelle or by Meri. And they also own Coyote Pass jointly, all 4 of them. And no changes to the title have been made. And the property is not for sale. And they paid it off. But right now it's just sitting there. They haven't put any property on it. No permits have been pulled. So what could very well happen here, though, is if Janelle and Meri didn't do anything legally here, and unless this gets picked up by the feds, Kody could get away with it because Janelle and Meri never filed liens against the property. So there's no outstanding liens by anyone other than a mortgage company. And there's no lawsuits filed by anyone named Meri or Janelle against Kody or Robyn for this property. The only lawsuit is in Utah. And that has really no bearing on this property. It has to do with child support and child custody. And with child support cases, when cases are active, domestic relations injunctions are placed so as not to remove or get rid of assets while the case is going on so that they can determine the custody payment and any debts that might be associated with the case. So if Christine has a division of debt that she's coming to this court with, say she says, Kody owes me $75,000 for Isabel's surgery, and I'm going to divide this debt with him, and that's what I want divided in this case. Moving assets could not be good for him. He could get in trouble with the court. So I don't know what Christine is going to do. I don't know what Kody's going to do with this money. Kody took out a mortgage when he bought the house last week. The mortgage is for $1.68 million. Of that, he only put down $400,000. If he were to just put the money into the home to buy down the mortgage, it doesn't refinance the terms of the mortgage. It doesn't refinance the payment. It doesn't adjust the payment. It would adjust the number of years that are due and the total balance due, but it doesn't change the payment. So even if you were to take the money and put it into the house that they just bought, his payment would stay the same. I put extra money down on my mortgage every month, and my payment never changes. It just changes the schedule of how much longer it'll take and for you to pay off the loan and the amount of interest you'll pay long term. So if he does it that way, he could end up with a mortgage around the same amount as what he was carrying on the bigger house that he just sold, on the big house that he just sold. My fear in all of this is that because the ladies dragged their feet and they didn't move when they should have, and they didn't fight him aggressively, and they allowed themselves to be manipulated and threatened by him, that they will get screwed out of this money and there will be no level of accountability for Kody. I have never witnessed anyone so blatantly commit mortgage fraud on national television and not get held accountable. It actually floors me the amount of crimes Kody commits financially through the manipulation and the coercion of his wives and the careful manipulation of finances to qualify for things. And all while everyone's watching and under the guise of coded language like the monogamous world isn't built for our finances, i.e., we defraud the government or lenders when we do this, and we fudge and forge documents and move money around, i.e., I take all the money from the women to get what I want. On top of all of this, I think what breaks my heart about this is that Kody has willingly not paid child support for any of his children with Janelle or Christine. For the 14 years that this show has filmed, Christine and Janelle have had to pay all of their own bills when it came to their kids. Kody did not provide health insurance. He would buy them a $2,500 car and sometimes cover car insurance, but that hardly, I mean, that's bare minimum. He wasn't paying for their food. He wasn't paying for their clothes. Each of the women had their own budget. And then Kody took the lion's share of the money and pilfered it. He enriched himself, and not everyone else in the family became rich. Janelle moved into a small one-bedroom apartment or two-bedroom apartment while Kody and Robyn purchased a 4,500 square foot home. Meri never purchased a house in Flagstaff. He tried to rip Christine off and take Christine's equity when she moved and sold her house, and Christine was smart enough to say, no, you're not having my equity. And she was also smart enough to get Kody off her title so that when she did sell the house, he had no legal claims. For Janelle being as smart as she is, she's a big fool because she's not on the title at the house that just sold. She has no legal claim on any of that money. Kody could run off with this money. And unless she files a lawsuit or reports this as fraud to the federal government, which she might be unlikely to do because her hands aren't clean and she could impeach herself, or she could implicate herself as a part of it because she managed the finances. Part of the reason why these women haven't been filing lawsuits is because their hands are dirty. And Kody knows that. And so when you're someone like Kody, who's basically like a cult leader of his family, he has everyone else doing his dirty work. They all worshiped him because he was their god. They all got involved in his crimes with them. And now two of the women aren't going to do a damn thing about it. And they waited way too long. And now here we are. My faith in humanity, my faith in the justice system wanes every day as I watch what Kody Brown does to these women. Other reality stars have been arrested for way less. And it just shocks me that because he's a public polygamist and because Arizona and Utah are soft on polygamy, that the FBI and IRS will just ignore it. because why? They should have filed charges against him years ago and not let it escalate to this point. And with the decriminalization in Utah of polygamy, polygamists are becoming more and more bold in how they act and what they do. And Kody doesn't care about court orders or court injunctions. He'll just do whatever he wants. And unless there's police coming to his house, I highly doubt he's going to be handing over any of that money. So right now, the home is sold. What remains questionable is what's going to happen with that equity and if any of the women will get their fair share and if Kody will ever actually be held accountable legally, not just civilly, but criminally. The authorities just look stupid, honestly, for letting all of this slide, letting this blatant criminal activity flourish and promotion of a cult all on television for profit. TLC has profited while Kody Brown has abused all of his family members, neglected his children, and now he's willingly not paid child support and can buy a $2 million house. If he's not a deadbeat dad, I don't know what he is, because that is just, he's a sperm donor, nothing more, nothing less. All right, so I'll be back with more tomorrow. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Do you think anything will come of this? And make sure to leave some comments. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click the bell so you never miss a video. Bye, everyone.